High above the Ethiopian plateau, we begin our virtual journey along the magnificent Awash Valley, a dramatic corridor forged by the powerful forces of the Great East African Rift System. Originating on the steep northern escarpments of the Central Highlands, the Awash River begins its 1,200-kilometer journey northeast. As we fly downstream, the topography transforms dramatically. From cool, elevated plateaus rising above 2,000 to 3,000 meters, the land plunges into the deepening Rift Valley. Deep gorges and steep escarpments mark this dramatic descent, creating a fertile corridor sheltered between towering mountain walls. Dominating the middle valley is the impressive Mount Fentali, a massive stratovolcano whose crater and lava fields remind us that this region remains geologically active. Scattered volcanic cones and basalt plateaus bear witness to ancient eruptions that have shaped this dramatic terrain. Below us stretch the diverse landscapes of Awash National Park. Rolling savanna grasslands, acacia-dotted plains, and lush riverine forests line the winding river. The Awash River carves deep canyons and thunders over spectacular waterfalls, especially the famous Awash Falls, where waters plunge through ancient rock layers sculpted over millions of years. Continuing northeast, the valley broadens and the land gradually descends. We enter the hot, arid lowlands of the Afar Depression, where elevations drop toward and even below sea level. Here, the terrain opens into vast, barren plains, one of the hottest and most extreme environments on Earth. From fertile highland escarpments and volcanic peaks to lush river corridors and scorching arid lowlands, the Awash Valley showcases Ethiopia's extraordinary topographic diversity, a living laboratory of our planet's restless geology. In the highlands of Ethiopia, where the earth rises to meet the sky, the Awash River is born. Here in cool subtropical embrace, annual rains often exceed 1,000 millimeters, sometimes 1,600, during the Great Kairim season. Temperatures hover gently between 19 and 24 degrees Celsius. Lush green plains stretch wide, fertile farmlands thrive, and dense vegetation clings to the winding riverbanks like emerald veins. This is the vibrant cradle of the Awash, generous and alive. But the river does not linger in comfort. It descends relentlessly into the middle valley. The climate turns hot and semi-arid. Rainfall halves to 5 to 900 millimeters, arriving in bimodal whispers, while heat reigns year-round, highs climbing to 32 degrees and beyond. Emerald riverine forests and ancient acacia savannas hug the life-giving waters, vivid against the golden-brown plains. Dramatic gorges carve the land. Awash National Park unfolds in stunning contrast, oases of green amid the drying expanse. Further still, the river plunges into the Afar Depression, one of Earth's most unforgiving realms. Extreme aridity takes hold. Rainfall crashes below 200 millimeters, sometimes as little as 160. Temperatures soar to 30, 40, even 48 degrees Celsius. The landscape becomes hyper-arid desert, barren salt flats, volcanic badlands, cracked earth stretching to infinity. Yet through this stark wilderness, the Awash endures a slender, defiant ribbon of green, a vital lifeline snaking onward until it vanishes into the hypersaline enigma of Lake Abbey. This is one of the planet's most dramatic climate gradients, from verdant highlands to relentless desert in mere hundreds of kilometers. The river threading through it all is more than water. It is life itself, sustaining farms, wildlife, and communities in a land of extremes. But the balance is fragile. Climate change casts a lengthening shadow, rains growing erratic, droughts deepening, flash floods rising in fury. The Awash, once steady, now faces an uncertain future. In its journey from cool heights to scorching depths, it reminds us nature's wonders are precious and perilously interconnected. Fed by the Awash River's precious waters, approximately 150,000 to 200,000 hectares of land across the basin are currently developed for agriculture, mostly through irrigation. This accounts for over 70% of Ethiopia's large-scale irrigated farmland, concentrated in the middle and lower valleys. From the 1950s onwards, state-led projects have transformed this arid landscape into a productive heartland, though only about 77 to 80% of the basin's irrigation potential is realized today. Key schemes include the vast state-owned sugar estates at Wangishoa, Metahara, Kasem, and Tendaho, alongside Amabara and smaller community projects. Modern surface irrigation dominates the large estates, while traditional systems serve many smallholders. Yet roughly 20% of equipped land still lies idle due to infrastructure gaps, salinity, and water shortages, reminders of the delicate balance between development and the river's limits. Sugarcane reigns supreme. Thousands of hectares at Wangi, Metahara, Kasem, and Tendaho drive Ethiopia's sugar industry. Cotton fills the middle and lower valleys, thriving under irrigation. Vegetables such as onion and tomato, plus maize, fruits, and wheat, cover much of the remaining plots. Together, these 5 crops occupy over 70% of irrigated land. The basin's output supports national food security, exports, and local livelihoods. These irrigated lands consume 2 to 2.5 billion cubic meters of water each year, intensifying the basin's water stress. Salinization, waterlogging, and climate variability threaten productivity. Yet 2025 to 2026 mapping and efficiency improvements offer hope. Better technologies and governance could free water for an extra 35,000 to 40,000 hectares, The Awash Basin's irrigated agriculture is Ethiopia's economic engine, yet its future depends on wise stewardship. For the latest figures, consult the Awash Basin Authority. Balanced management will ensure these fertile lands continue feeding the nation while protecting the river that sustains them. Spanning over 114,000 square kilometers along Ethiopia's Awash River, the basin unfolds a tapestry of habitats: highland forests, Rift Valley savannas, semi-arid plains, and lush riverine corridors. Here, vibrant flora thrives in Acacia commiphora woodland, dominated by graceful umbrella acacias like Acacia tortilis, a Senegal, and a Nilotica, alongside Balanites aegyptiaca. Over 65 woody species, led by the Fabaceae family, include riverine giants such as figs, Syzygium guineense, and doom palms, Hyphaene thebaika, around volcanic hot springs. Grasses like Chrysopogon plumulosus carpet the plains, while thorny thickets shelter smaller shrubs. Among more than 78 mammal species, the basin shelters true icons. Ethiopia's largest protected population of graceful Besa oryx with spear-like horns roams the plains, joined by darting Summering's gazelle, spiral-horned lesser and greater kudu, warthogs, tiny salts, dik-diks, Dafasa waterbuck, and curious olive and hamadryas baboons. Hippos wallow and Nile crocodiles lurk along the Awash, while spotted hyenas, caracal, serval, and rare predators like leopards prowl. In the lower basin, endangered treasures persist: the African wild ass, Gerenuk, and occasional Grevy's zebra. The skies burst with over 472 bird species, including 6 Ethiopian endemics: ostriches striding grasslands, dramatic secretary birds, booming Abyssinian ground hornbills, flashing carmine bee-eaters, and turquoise Abyssinian rollers. Raptors soar overhead, while 43 reptiles like Nile crocodiles bask on banks, joined by endemic fish and amphibians in wetlands and riverine zones. Yet this richness faces pressures: overgrazing, pollution, habitat loss from dams and agriculture, plus invasive species. Historical losses include buffalo and elephants. But hope endures. New fencing completed in 2025 safeguards wildlife and communities, improved roads boost ecotourism, and the Ethiopian Wildlife Conservation Authority maintains stable oryx and gazelle populations in the park's core. The Awash Basin's flora and fauna form a vibrant, vulnerable symphony of survival. Amid rifts and rivers, it calls us to protect this Ethiopian treasure, so its wonders thrive for generations to come. Spanning over 114,000 square kilometers along Ethiopia's Awash River, this basin weaves highland forests, Rift Valley savannas, semi-arid plains, and lush riverine corridors. Here, vibrant biodiversity thrives, yet faces real pressures from habitat loss, agriculture, dams, and human encroachment, especially in the redemarcated Awash National Park. Among more than 78 mammal species, the basin shelters true icons of the wild. Behold Ethiopia's largest protected population of graceful basa oryx with their spear-like horns, darting summering's gazelle, spiral-horned kudu, warthogs, tiny dik-diks, waterbuck, and troops of olive and hamadryas baboons. Hippos wallow and crocodiles lurk along the river, joined by hyenas, caracal, and the rare endangered African wild ass, gerenuk, and occasional gravy zebra in the lower basin. The skies burst with over 472 bird species, including 6 Ethiopian endemics, ostriches striding the grasslands, dramatic secretary birds, booming Abyssinian ground hornbills, crimson carmine bee-eaters, and turquoise Abyssinian rollers. Raptors soar above, while 43 reptiles like Nile crocodiles bask on banks, and endemic fish and amphibians complete this rich symphony. Yet this richness is under siege from overgrazing, pollution, and conflict. Historical losses of buffalo and elephants echo the pressure, but hope is rising. New fencing completed in 2025 now protects both wildlife and communities. Improved roads boost ecotourism, and the Ethiopian Wildlife Conservation Authority keeps oryx and gazelle populations stable in the park's core. The Awash Basin's wildlife is a vibrant, vulnerable, vital symphony of survival. Amid rifts and rivers, it calls us to protect this Ethiopian gem, so its wonders thrive for generations to come. In the heart of Ethiopia lies the Awash River Basin, spanning 110,000 to 116,000 square kilometers. Its mean annual surface water potential is 4.6 to 4.9 billion cubic meters, yet evaporation, abstractions, and losses leave far less actually usable. This lifeline sustains life, agriculture, and industry across one of Africa's most dynamic regions. The Awash River rises in the central highlands and flows northeastward through the dramatic Rift Valley. Along its path, gauging stations record the cumulative discharge, telling a story of abundance turning into challenge. Upstream at Wanji, near the Koka Dam and Wanji Sugar Estate, older records show 30 to 50 cubic meters per second. roughly 1.5 to 2 billion cubic meters annually. Downstream at Melkasadi, additional tributaries like the Kasem push flows to 60 to 80 cubic meters per second, though Lake Baseka adds salinity. At Gawan, local rainfall brings cumulative discharge to 80 to 100 cubic meters per second. Finally, at Tendaho near the lower dam, mean annual flow settles at approximately 2.2 billion cubic meters, or about 70 cubic meters per second, before the river disappears into Lake Abe. These figures highlight the basin's high seasonality and heavy upstream use. Data from the 1970s to 2010s reveal clear variability. Climate trends and irrigation abstractions of 2 to 2.5 billion cubic meters per year, plus upstream dams, have reduced flows downstream. Groundwater outflow of 3 to 3.8 billion cubic meters means no surface water reaches the sea, pushing the heavily developed basin into severe water stress. The Awash River Basin is Ethiopia's precious water heritage, yet it stands under mounting pressure. For the most accurate current figures, consult the Awash Basin Authority or the Ministry of Water. Sustainable management today will secure this lifeline for generations to come. The Awash River, Ethiopia's principal lifeline in an endorheic basin, does not flow alone. It is nourished by a network of tributaries, draining the Ethiopian highlands, Rift Valley escarpments, and transitional arid zones. These veins vary in scale and spirit, some eternal from lofty elevations, others fleeting and seasonal. From aerial heights, they reveal branching patterns dense and dendritic in fertile uplands, sparse and serpentine in the parched plains. Together, they sustain irrigation, hydropower, ecosystems, and millions of lives. Beginning downstream in the harsh Afar region, the Lojia River emerges as a key tributary. Draining arid lowlands, it joins near the terminal lakes, bolstering the Awash's final surge before vanishing into Lake Abe's evaporative embrace. Nearby, the Milla River adds its vital flow to this increasingly arid stretch, supporting proposed dams amid the relentless sun. Ascending into the middle basin, tributaries grow more robust. The Borkana River, originating near Kombolcha's higher realms, delivers perennial or semi-perennial waters. The Ataya River drains escarpment flanks, threading through transitional semi-arid zones. Hawadi enters with quiet support for local agriculture, a green contrast to drier surrounds. Kabena, often enduring year-round, fuels irrigation in the valley's heart. And then the chief affluent, Jermama River, also known as Kisem. Joining on the left bank near Awash National Park, it drains vast highland regions, swelling the main stem with substantial volume. Higher still, in the upper basin, the network densifies. The Majo River flows through central lands near Adama, fed by sub-tributaries like Wedecha and Belbela, essential for irrigation, yet marked by agricultural runoff. The Akaki River, with its little and great branches, drains around Addis Ababa, merging near Coca Reservoir. Heavily influenced by urban pulse and industry, it carries both life and burden. Other notables weave in Keleta, Dukum, and smaller streams like Berga or Holota near the headwaters. These tributaries are more than water, they are the Awash's lifeblood, supporting sugar estates, dams, and fragile ecosystems. Yet they face mounting pressures, overuse, pollution from cities and fields, and climate's unpredictable hand. In this endorheic dance where no drop reaches the sea, the veins remind us the river's strength lies in its sources and its survival in our stewardship. In the heart of Ethiopia's Rift Valley lowlands, the Awash River Basin stands as the nation's agricultural powerhouse. Here, irrigated farming transforms harsh landscapes into verdant bounty, despite relentless water stress and environmental trials. This is where human resolve meets the river's gift, yielding crops that feed millions in one of Africa's most developed irrigation regions. The basin's irrigation potential spans 134,000 to 206,000 hectares focused on fertile, flat plains ideal for surface watering. Yet limits loom. Salinity, waterlogging, sedimentation, and competing demands from hydropower, homes, and industry constrain expansion. Sustainability demands careful stewardship. As of 2025 to 2026 assessments, over 250,000 hectares thrive under extensive projects, though 20% remain underused due to maintenance and governance gaps. Recent revitalization, like water accounting in the Amabara scheme, and the farmer-led irrigation development program launched in early 2026, empower communities to turn underutilized lands into productive farms. Irrigated agriculture prioritizes cash crops in grand schemes. Sugarcane reigns at estates like Wanji and Metahara, cotton flourishes in the arid plains, while maize, sorghum, onions, vegetables, and emerging wheat complete the mosaic. Smallholders blend cereals and horticulture for sustenance and markets. But abundance is fragile. Extreme water stress looms by 2030, with 2025 studies projecting 15 to 20% rises in irrigation demand due to warming climates and erratic rains. Salinity, pollution, and over-extraction threaten key crops. Efforts pivot to resilience, efficiency upgrades, better management via the Awash Basin Authority, and integrated planning. The Awash Valley's harvest is a testament to ingenuity, turning rift-borne waters into life-sustaining yields. Yet as pressures mount, the future hinges on adaptation, farmer-driven programs, precise technologies, and harmonious balance. In this stressed yet bountiful basin, agriculture endures not just as livelihood but as legacy for a resilient Ethiopia. Along the Awash River, life pulses through one of Ethiopia's most vital basins. 17 to 18 million people, roughly 12 to 15% of the nation's total, depend on its waters. From crowded highlands near Addis Ababa to the sparse, sun-scorched lowlands of Afar, density thins dramatically as the land dries. This is no uniform landscape, nor a single people. The Awash Basin mirrors Ethiopia itself, a mosaic of ethnic groups shaped by altitude, livelihood, history, and the eternal search for water and land. In the upper highlands around Ginchi, the river's origins and the bustling edges of Addis Ababa, Oromo, and Amhara predominate. The Oromo, the largest group in the basin, cultivate fertile soils in rain-fed fields and irrigated plots. Amhara communities, historically prominent in cities and highlands, blend with smaller groups like the Garage. Here, Christianity holds strong, markets hum with life, families tend maize and teff, and urban migration weaves even greater diversity into the fabric of daily existence. As the river carves downward into the Middle Valley, through places like Adama, Metahara, and Amibara, the picture grows more complex. Oromo pastoral subgroups such as the Karayu or Kareyu share the land with increasing numbers of Afar. Commercial estates and irrigation schemes have redrawn boundaries, sometimes sparking tensions over access to the river's precious flow. Yet amid the acacia-dotted plains, communities coexist, herding cattle, farming where water allows, bound by the same lifeline. Further downstream in the harsh lowlands of the Afar region, Tendaho, Dubti, a Saitata land, belongs to the Afar people. Semi-nomadic Muslim pastoralists, they have mastered survival in one of Earth's most unforgiving deserts. Camels trace ancient routes across cracked earth and salt flats. On the eastern fringes, Issa Somali communities graze alongside, their paths occasionally crossing in competition for shrinking pastures. Islam shapes daily rhythms here. Prayer calls echo across barren expanses. Resilience defines existence. Cushitic languages dominate: Oromo, Afar, Somali, while Semitic influences linger in the upper zones through Amhara heritage. Religion divides gently along the gradient, Christianity above, Islam below, yet the river unites them all. It sustains farmers in the cool heights, pastoralists in the scorching depths, and growing urban centers in between. But unity is tested. Historical displacements of groups like the Jile, Arsi, Kareyu, and Afar linger in memory. Expanding irrigation, climate pressures, and competition for land and water fuel ongoing conflicts. In this water-stressed basin, Ethiopia's celebrated multi-ethnic fabric reveals both its beauty and its fragility. The Awash does not merely flow through land, it flows through lives, languages, faiths, and histories, binding a diverse people in shared dependence and shared destiny. In an era of change, the question remains, can this lifeline continue to nourish all who call its valley home? The Awash Basin in Ethiopia stands as a vivid testament to the nation's rapid transformation, one of Africa's fastest urbanizing regions, where ancient landscapes meet modern ambitions but at a profound cost to nature and communities. In the heart of Ethiopia lies the Awash River Basin, a lifeline stretching over 110,000 square kilometers, cradling more than 18 million lives. It is home to the nation's capital, Addis Ababa, and a chain of growing urban centers that pulse with energy and change. Yet this basin, once defined by fertile highlands, vast farmlands, and resilient ecosystems, now tells a story of relentless urbanization. Addis Ababa, the political and economic heartbeat of Ethiopia, has grown dramatically. From around 5 million residents in recent years, projections place its population nearing 6.2 million by 2026, surging toward 9 million by 2030 at an annual rate of about 4%. This explosive growth, fueled by rural-to-urban migration, industrial expansion, and government-led development, has turned peri-urban farmlands into sprawling neighborhoods, factories, and infrastructure corridors. Along the Addis Ababa-Adama corridor, cities like Adama, once known as Nazareth, now over 400,000 strong, Bishoftu, Mojo, and others explode outward. Built-up areas in the upper basin have multiplied many times over the past 2 decades, often claiming cultivated land at alarming rates. Studies show urban land covers surging dramatically between 1990 and 2020, with projections under business. As usual scenarios forecasting even steeper increases up to 300% more built-up land by the 2030s in some areas, while forests, shrublands, and farmlands shrink. This transformation brings promise: jobs in textiles, chemicals, and emerging industrial parks, better access to services, and the vibrancy of urban life. Ethiopia's urbanization rate, hovering around 5.4% annually, outpaces much of the continent, driving economic growth and lifting millions from rural poverty. But the shadows are lengthening. The Awash River, the basin's vital artery, bears the brunt. Upstream pollution from untreated industrial effluents and urban wastewater, only about 30% treated in Addis Ababa, flows downstream, carrying heavy metals like arsenic into Lake Beseka and beyond. Over-extraction for irrigation, domestic use, and industry has reduced river flows by up to 40% in places. Climate change compounds the strain, with rising temperatures and erratic rains intensifying droughts and floods. Downstream communities in the Afar lowlands face contaminated water, reduced availability, and threats to livelihoods tied to pastoralism and small-scale farming. Land degradation accelerates, sedimentation chokes reservoirs, ecosystems fragment, and groundwater recharge falters under expanding settlements and agriculture. Yet hope persists in sustainable pathways. Recent analyses highlight scenarios where governance-focused planning controlling sprawl, boosting wastewater treatment to 80%, protecting wetlands, and adapting to climate shifts could reverse declines in water security and ecological health. Initiatives for integrated urban water management, community engagement, and resilient infrastructure offer a blueprint for balancing growth with preservation. The Awash Basin is Ethiopia's mirror, a place where ambition meets vulnerability, where the future of millions hangs on choices made today. Will this cradle of civilization become a cautionary tale of unchecked expansion or a model of harmonious urban evolution? The river flows on, carrying both the weight of progress and the promise of renewal. In the heart of Ethiopia's main Ethiopian rift, the Awash Valley unfolds as a theater of fire and stone. Shaped by millions of years of rifting, volcanic forces have sculpted dramatic landscapes. Calderas, lava flows, cinder cones, hot springs, fumaroles, and jagged gorges. These features not only enhance the valley's scenic allure amid wildlife in Awash National Park, but remind us of the Earth's restless core. Dominating the scene is Fentale, also known as Fantalea, towering stratovolcano rising to 2,000 meters. Its spectacular summit caldera crowns the landscape within Awash National Park. Last erupting around 1820, with historical lava flows spilling into the valley and lake areas, Fentale still steams with hot springs and fumarole signs of simmering power beneath. North of Fentale, Dofana rhyolitic shield volcano rises 450 meters above the plain. Youthful lava flows and cinder cones adorn its flanks, hinting at Holocene activity, though no recent eruptions are recorded. Further south, Hertali on the Awash Plain has produced fresh-looking lava flows from the late Pleistocene to Holocene, visible even in satellite eyes. Scattered minor vents, cinder cones, and fissural eruptions dot the broader valley, while the upper Awash holds ancient volcano sedimentary layers like the 1.2-million-year-old Kela Tuff and Munesa ignimbrite. From 2020 to 2026, the region has stirred with significant unrest tied to the rift's ongoing pull. In late 2024 to early 2025, major dike intrusions, magma surging underground. Between Fentale and Dofan caused over 40 centimeters of ground uplift, earthquake swarms including magnitude 5 events, and surface ejections of steam and sediment. Tens of thousands evacuated the Awash Fentale area in January 2025 amid eruption fears. In February 2025, satellites detected unusual large methane plumes from Fentale's crater amid persistent seismic rumbles. No eruption followed. As of March 2026, no full eruption has gripped Fentale or Dofan. Activity lingers in geothermal emissions with vigilant monitoring. Note, a major explosive eruption in November 2025 at Haley Gubby farther north in Afar sent ash across continents, but lies beyond the Awash core. Volcanism here is low frequency but profoundly hazardous, threatening dense populations, roads, railways, and linking to earthquakes. Yet it bestows unique gifts, geothermal wonders like Filwoha's hot springs, adding ethereal value to Awash National Park. In this valley of extremes, the fires of the rift endure, a force of creation and caution, shaping land and life alike. In Ethiopia's Awash Basin within the stark Afar Depression and its flanking highlands lies a treasure trove unlike any other. Often called the cradle of humankind, this land preserves a near-continuous fossil record of our ancestors, spanning 6 million years from the late Miocene to the Holocene. Thousands of specimens, early stone tools, and clues to ancient environments offer an unmatched glimpse into hominin evolution. Here, the Earth itself tells the story of how we became human. Recognized by UNESCO, the lower valley of the Awash, including Hadar, is a World Heritage Site. Its paleontological wonders, with fossils over 4 million years old, have revolutionized our understanding, proving bipedalism walking upright came before larger brains. In Hadar, the lower valley, one find stands eternal. Lucy, Australopithecus afarensis, 3.2 million years old, the earliest clear evidence of bipedalism. Her partial skeleton whispers of a small, upright walker in a changing world. Deeper in the middle Awash sites like Aramis, Bori, Herto, Gonamore revelations unfold. Arti, Ardipithecus ramidus, 4.4 million years ago. A near-complete skeleton blending arboreal climbing with tentative steps on the ground in wooded realms. Then Australopithecus anamensis at 4.2 million years. Australopithecus garhi at 2.5 million, tied to early tool use and butchery. Early Homo erectus around 1 million years, and Homo sapiens adultu, 160,000 years old, among the oldest modern humans. At Gona, Oldowan tools emerge, 2.6 million years old, the earliest known stone artifacts, simple choppers shaping our technological dawn. In the upper Awash, like Melkakunture, Pleistocene echoes linger. From 2 million years onward, footprints, Acheulean tools, and adaptations to highland life. Even now, in 2025 and 2026, the basin yields secrets. In Ledigararu, a new Australopithecus species, distinct from afarensis and early Homo fossils, 2.6 to 2.8 million years old, revealing coexistence and greater diversity between 3 and 2.5 million years ago. In Melaleuca, the first Paranthropus fossil in Afara, 2.6 million-year-old partial jaw expanding the genus northward, hinting at adaptability to drier worlds. The 2009 Bertel foot, resolved in 2025 as Australopithecus deiremida at 3.4 million years, confirms neighbors to afarensis. These discoveries illuminate complex branching paths, shifts from woods to grasslands, and innovations in tools and diet. The Awash remains a vital natural laboratory, no major paradigm shifts since early 2026, but active excavations continue. In this basin, we confront our origins, fragile, adaptive, enduring. From Lucy's first steps to our global journey, the Awash reminds us we are all children of this ancient earth.